So then on campus, after you get past that point, the next person that comes along says, but listen, I still don't need to listen to you because I'm an agnostic. I'm an agnostic. Now, I have found that there are two kinds of agnostics. By the way, what is an agnostic? An agnostic is a fella that is brilliant in the area of not knowing anything. Thomas Huxley coined the term, and it basically means you don't know. That's what you're saying. And I love it. We're on university campuses, and here's this guy that's got a poster up and says, turn out and hear this agnostic. You turn out and hear this guy talk about what he doesn't know. Now, as I said, there are two kinds of agnostics that I've met every place that I've traveled. First of all, there is the ordinary agnostic. The ordinary agnostic is the fellow that says, listen, John, I don't know if there is a God, but I'll tell you what, if you've got some evidence, I'm open. I'm willing to listen. Man, I love that kind of a person. If you're an agnostic here today and you're open to listening to the evidence, you have come to the right place. You have come to the right place. But then there's the second kind of agnostic, who is what I call the ornery agnostic. The ornery agnostic is the fellow that says, I don't know if there's a God or not, but I know that you don't know. And I say, how do you know I don't know? And he says, I know. Now that is what I call a real ornery agnostic. Now I've gotten a little story up for these fellas that have usually said that no matter what Ankerberg you show me, my mind is already made up. I love that, you know. You can put all the evidence right on the table. The guy says, I'm not going to look at that. For those kind of people, I said, you know what you remind me? You remind me of the guy who thought he was dead. The guy says, what do you mean? I said, didn't you ever hear the story about the fellow that thought he was dead? No, tell me about it. I said, glad you asked. There was this fella that went around telling people, he says, my name is, and he gave him his name, and he says, by the way, I'm dead. And of course, that was a little embarrassing to his parents. And so they thought, we need to take him to a psychiatrist. And so they finally got him to go to the psychiatrist. Before the boy went in, they said, Doc, look, we got a problem. Our boy, he's alive, but he thinks he's dead. He's going around telling everybody he's dead. The doctor says, well, let's bring him in. So they brought the kid in. The kid says, hey, Doc, glad to meet you. My name is, and by the way, do you know I'm dead? The doctor said, I see what the problem is. This fella had the belief that he was dead. It was a false belief. Now he thought, I need to show him some fact from the real world that will bust this belief that he's dead. So I thought, what could I show him? He thought, I know, I'll show him the fact that dead men do not bleed. They don't, you know. So he gave him all kinds of textbooks and all kinds of reports and all kinds of things. Took him down to the morgue, cut dead bodies, showed him they do not bleed. And after months and months of research, this fellow finally came to the conclusion. He says, Doctor, you have persuaded me. Dead men do not bleed. Doctor thought, I've got him. He says, give me your hand. Kid put out the hand. He says, give me that finger. So he took the finger, took one of those little needle things that pricks the finger, pricked the finger. The blood spurted out. The doctor thought, I've got him. This will burst his belief. But no, the kid came back and says, Doctor, dead men bleed after all. Now that reminds me of the ornery agnostic, is that whatever you show them, they're going to jam it into their worldview. They're really not going to look at the evidence. Their minds are closed. They're silly. Hopefully you're not an ornery agnostic, you're an ordinary agnostic who would say, I'm open to the evidence.